This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, I'll call the Lake Sewer District Board meeting to order, and we'll start with Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I heard that. Wait, could they shut it off? We're done. Oh, okay.
All right, and we zip through to item 3, public forum. I look here in person. Nope. I look on the virtual wall. I'll give a pause, drink of water. Seeing nobody, we will, and did we get any letters, cards, letters of admiration? No? Okay. We'll close the public forum. I got an agenda. I kind of like the agenda. Does anybody else like the agenda or have any changes? You like it? Yeah. No. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I make a motion to approve the agenda for January 12th.
We got a motion?
And I would second that.
Got a second? All in favor?
All right.
Aye. We have some consent items in front of us, A through I. How do we like those?
Look fancy.
Looks fancy.
Great.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve consent items.
I make a motion to approve consent items A through I.
I would second that.
Beautiful. Call for vote. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye. All right, passes. Old business, resolution 1041.
Resolution 1041 is to, for the board to decide on bringing the area known as Nessie into the district boundaries. Notice of intent was filed with Snohomish County. It's been reviewed by the Boundary Review Board and approved by Snohomish County Council. District Legal has reviewed this resolution and it's recommended by staff for approval.
Fantastic. Comments, concerns?
No.
Anybody would feel so emboldened to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 1041, the Nessie annexation final acceptance.
I got a motion.
And I would second that.
Call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Resolution 1041 passes. Let's move to B, discussion of thought of commercial rate in GFCs. I see we got some extra info.
Yeah, Jonathan's going to pull up a PowerPoint, which I printed off for you, just so you have it in front of you as well. So on our December 22nd meeting, FCS Group presented the results of their study. And so I just wanted to follow up with some of the questions that had been asked. Second slide, just kind of, it's directly from their presentation, which is the recommendations that the FCS Group had made based on their commercial GFC and rate review that they had done for us. And then, so we'll go kind of through those. So the first recommendation, go to the next slide, please, was to revise the ERU definition from 750 to 600 cubic feet per month for their water usage. And then the board had asked me what the impact to our customers would be if we really did that. So I took a look at all of the water usage data from January to November of 2022, assuming, water usage would continue on the same scale. And so for our higher impact users, based on FCS Group's definition, the food, grocery, and convenience stores, we have 59 accounts. Minimum monthly impact for those customers, a lot of them are going to see no impact at all, which means their water usage is below 600 already, and so they'll really see no impact to their bill. The maximum monthly impact for a customer was $2,000 per month. Our two largest contributors in that category are both grocery stores, and so their water usage really is quite high. And their impact to our treatment plant is quite high. Median for that group is $110.37 per month. So expected revenue increase that the district would see would be about $10,000 a month if we do that change. There's only one septage receiving, which is under a contract, obviously, based on their usage. So we actually monitor their flow coming out, not their water usage going in. So it's slightly different, but the same idea. So they also would go up by the same percentage, going from 750 to 600. It's a 20% difference. And so them going up would be somewhere between $2,000 to $8,000 a month. Their flows in the summer are much higher than the winter. But averaging that out looks like about $4,600 additional revenue coming to the district.
You want to chat? Okay, you got more. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, just got it.
Yeah. So these are more of the lower impact users. Schools, there's 12 of them, 12 accounts, and they ranged from $0 to $612, median being about $81 a month. So that's, the same categories we just went through, $2,700 a month additional revenue that may come into the district if we make that change. I'm going to skip down to worship centers. There's 8 of those, ranged from 0 to 169. The largest one in that would be the 169 has a daycare on site, so they have additional water use from that part of their business. But median of that one is $24 that they're looking at additional. And then let me go to other commercial. Other commercial this captures all of the other businesses that we have, 92 of them. So there's a wide range, as you can imagine, of business types. In this one, it actually includes car wash. So the 2 largest is the car wash. I pulled out the car wash that's receiving the highest bills because it really skews the numbers there on the meeting and stuff. Most of those customers are going to see a $3.33 difference in their bill each month. The car wash obviously is much higher at $3,998 a month that they can see. That's simply because their water usage is so high and the impact on the plant is so high.
They don't recycle any of that?
They
They
do.
recycle some, so we give them a credit for half or something.
They, the water usage, if it recycles, it doesn't come through the meter. So this is
Oh, true.
raw water that's coming in and being discharged, new water. Yeah.
Okay.
Quite a bit. Okay, so total revenue increase per month that we would be looking at is somewhere around $23,600 for the district if we make the change from 750 to 600. The second recommendation that FCS group had made was to consider simplifying the GFC structure by adopting alternative ERU basis, which would be something like building square footage and a category for higher users. What I've displayed here is what our current categories are for how we calculate GFCs. So if a new building has put in an application to connect to sewer, we create a GFC worksheet to determine how much their impact would be and how much their charges. And we do it based on the building square footage, which FCS group has said was consistent with other entities and was good for us. So what we did is just a conversion here. If, equivalent residential unit water usage is really 600, not 750, what does that equate to for building square footage? So we made that transition. And then, it's coming up. And then we did it to normalize it by 1,000 square foot. So 1 ERU per 1,000 square foot, how much would the charge be? And FCS group had recommended high impact and low impact users. What we found when applying that to like some real life examples is it didn't quite capture everything for us. So car wash itself, they had recommended be the same as 0.19 as a low impact user, but what we're seeing is that's definitely not right. So we left that one at 6 based on what we're currently doing for a car wash coming in and what we're seeing as flow recovery. Food service establishments, same sort of thing. FCS group had said 1.2, which is even lower than what we're charging them now. And we know based on the quality of their discharge, that actually needs to be just a little higher. So this would be staff's recommendation of how we apply those ERUs per 1,000 square foot. We actually added just a couple more categories for things like the car wash that just didn't quite meet high versus low, or we didn't have them in our existing categories. So, and then I'll point out that none of these ERUs per 1,000 square foot is less than what we're currently doing. They either stay fairly consistent or up. So I want to give you a couple of real examples. So what would the GSC be under the current method versus what this revised method would do? I gave the category, not exactly the business name, but that's okay. Large retail at a building square footage of 148,000. The current ERUs for a GSC calculation that we would use today, if they applied today, would be 12.65 ERUs. The recommended change would be to use 28.12. That would be an increase of $280,000 for district GSCs. A self-storage business, if it's 96,527 square feet, currently we would say is 0.63 ERUs, and we would recommend going up to 0.87. It's about $3,000 more. The car wash under the current ERUs would be 5.28. We recommend it going up as well to 6.65, so additional 18,000. And you can read the next two lines: fast food and a gas station with convenience store. So the next steps are really just any additional information or questions you have for staff. And then we would go towards adopting a rate increase and adopting a GFC methodology. Both of those we should present to a utility committee meeting because it involves rates and customers. And then I would recommend for at least the rate increase for existing accounts that we consciously notice our customers that we're making a change to that. I didn't include notice to customers under the GFC methodology, other than it would be posted on our website because those are new buildings coming in or modifications. So not as well-defined targeted audience for
You
that
can
one.
send a congratulations notice to everybody that got theirs in before.
Yeah.
Experience savings.
Exactly. So any additional direction to staff, I've given you in front of you just a copy of a draft resolution that we've started making, which includes what's been presented today as the recommendation, that looking for, maybe implementation dates or when you might want to actually make this effective, or if you would like to see any modifications to it.
Hello, commissioners, comments?
No, I mean, I guess the only thing I look at, I saw that we have the notice, which is good because, for some of these, that might be a pretty big shock if you're a large user. I would just comment that I think that this is just something that actually probably better represents what we should be. I think a lot of the times what I've seen coming and listening to folks in the community about some of these large commercial developments that go in is they look at it and realize they're only paying for 12 GFCE. They don't feel it's equitable. And I think what this kind of does is it does make it equitable, and it really kind of puts it into the show a large commercial, hey, there's going to be an impact, so you guys need to plan for it too. Not just coming in and thinking, okay, this is going to be a pretty inexpensive, they want to know their bottom line so they can plan accordingly. Because like I said, knowing that our last large commercial retail came in, only paid 12 plus GFCs, but really are taking up almost 29, and then suddenly now their water use is going to reflect more of a 29. That's going to be, that'd be a big shocker, not knowing, if you're thinking, my gosh, they only had 12.65 before what happened, so. I think it's just more in line to show, because I think that was kind of a debate. I've spoken with some of the council members on the city side before. And I think they were a little shocked, like how low it was for such a large development that was going in. But we were following what we had set up in state law, we could justify by state law at that time. So I don't really have any big issue with this, because I think this just, it shows what it's truly, there's some costs associated with all of this. I was surprised for like car wash, holy smokes, But, when you go through the car wash, it's 12, 15, or 18, you select, that, well, they've got costs too. So. Yeah, I would just say notify customers, especially the ones that kind of see a large impact, bring it. My recommendation would say that next utility meeting, saying, hey, this is what we've got a recommendation, we want to move forward.
So I think I would like to see the adoption not March 1st, more like April 1st, because I don't think that's enough time. I just think it's better to communicate this and not have them miss one notification and then have just enormous sticker shock.
So you're thinking try to go first,
April 1st.
do this first month of the second quarter,
I would be fine sending it out. So my thoughts on it is if you don't have the commercial rates reflect the actual usage, spinning that around is we're choosing to have our commercial subsidized by residential. That's how the math works, right? So I don't want our residential to subsidize commercial. I want everybody to pay to the extent that we can equitably determine through math and science and the best consultants we can buy what that split should be. So I'm fine with it from that philosophy standpoint. As far as timing, I mean, I'd be fine pushing it into June 1st or whatever, give plenty, or even somewhere in summer, give it plenty of runway to be able to communicate and have feedback if we receive any. So
What was the notification process look like for the commercial?
I think it could be similar to how we did the full rate increase, where we're going to send letters to each of those customer accounts that will be affected, put it on their billing statement, put it on our website.
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna be pretty simple in a way, in my mind. I mean, once you get notification, there ain't much to it. It's, you've been notified. I mean, it's like getting your PUD bill. There's your rate for the month. Appreciate it. It's due by the 25th. For me, it's like putting things in motion. I mean, they're gonna have to realize, some of these costs, and maybe, I don't want to say maybe they just thought, hey, we got a great ride for a long time because of what the rates were, but we're just trying to bring things more in line.
my guess is that might not be how it's looked at.
No, it won't be. You're right.
But and my thing would be the notification process really about just not being the first time you see it on your bill.
Yeah.
So to try to minimize, gives you a chance to,
Prepare.
go through the 12-step program or whatever.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I think, that we're speaking of it right now gives a great indication that this stuff is coming down the pipeline. So if we, even if we do start reaching out now that the Board of Commissioners are looking at this, it'll probably spur some interest that they'll really want to do a little more due diligence.
Yeah.
But, what we find a lot of the times is people, they don't read what they get. It gets thrown in a giant pile, and it might just be shot off to their accounting department, and the accounting department just issues a check. Yeah. So.
Okay. Anything else on? Yeah, go ahead. All right. So,
Thank you.
yeah, you bet. Thank you. Thanks for the. So we'll move to new business. We got a resolution. Well, I think these. We'll take them one at a time. 1142. We're looking at some fund transitions.
Let's call it 1042 for the agenda. And there's 1043 for line B on the agenda. Sorry about that. It is correct on this resolution.
Yeah, the resolution.
All right, good.
That's all right. First mistake of the new year.
Well, we made it to 11th, I mean, 12th, that's pretty good.
We'll do good. All right. So resolution 1042, we had a fund that was separately set up in order to put aside money and pay out for the district's obligation to pay the city for their 2008 city limited tax general obligation bonds, and also for one of their public works trust fund loans from 2002. Both of these obligations were covered in the 2005 unification and annexation agreement that we would pay for that because it was attributable to the sewer system that we had taken over from them. Anyways, both of those debts have been paid off now. So we finished those in 2022. So there's no further need for this fund to be set up separately. So in order to close that account, we're doing it by resolution, and any funds that are still in there would like to transfer over to another district debt and interest fund that's set up to pay additional loans out. Okay. So this resolution has been reviewed by legal and is also recommended by staff.
Questions, comments?
No?
Welcome in.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 1042, the transfer and close of Fund 50.
And I would second that resolution's motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to resolution 1043, transfer and close of funds of, that's 45 and 56.
45 and 56. So this resolution 1043, very similar. We have two funds that had originally been set up for the 2010 Build America bonds that the district had. In 2019, we had refunded those bonds and we have a different fund that those payments come out of. So there's actually currently no monies that are sitting in funds 45 and 56. So this is a cleanup to close those accounts with the county. And it does talk about moving any funds, but currently it actually has a balance here. But again, this resolution has been reviewed by legal and is recommended by staff.
Just nothing more beautiful than cleaning up a chart accounts on a Thursday. It feels right. It feels right. Motion, right?
Make a motion to approve resolution number 1043, the transfer and close of funds 45 and 56.
And I would second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, passes. Moves us down to item 8, the manager's reports. Let's start with Senator Kimmelman.
Okay, caring by sharing has a total of $36.72 in it. That's not enough to help make customers at this point. We did on our last bill insert make a mention about the caring by sharing program again to try and help those customers that really do need it. It's a valuable program. Plant flows are at 3.2 million gallons a day. We do get a report every month about how our filterability of the membranes is going. And I just wanted to read one of the comments that was in that report to y'all. The last 4 months have been higher than any of the 3 previous years. That is amazing. We did some really great recovery claims lately and been running TMPs, and we're really doing better than any other membrane plant around right now. So that's great kudos to the plant, and we're doing really well down there. And then now that we finished up 2022, I wanted to give you an update on where we landed for our total inorganic nitrogen.
Yes.
So remember Ecology said we don't have to count January, they only went February through December for the first year. So February through December, we finished at 95,853 pounds of total inorganic nitrogen. Had we included January, it would have been 104,577, and both of those numbers are less than our limit, which was at 127,000.
Awesome.
So we did really, really good. So even if we included January, it would be 82% of what our limit is. That's very good. Our average was actually 11.9 milligrams per liter. Our goal is actually 10 milligrams per liter. So we're not there yet for what Ecology says we need to get to, but the fact that we stayed under our limit is very, very good for this cycle. So again, very good for the plant. That's all I've got today.
Do we report those where we ended up to DOE?
Yes.
You just hope that they take the information and realize, hey, you guys are doing a great job, and not say, well, but we cut you down. You know, I mean, it's kind of like, you want the bar to be where the bar should be, but if you do so well, they shouldn't just like, oh, we're gonna relocate it, you know, because
How much total, now I know there's, aside from staff time on retuning and those already committed costs, but incremental costs to be able to get there. Rough idea there? I mean, did we?
Not sure yet. I mean, one of the costs that we did invest in last year was more monitoring, so we can know what's really going on in the system, and that was around $87,000 for that. But that's not helping us change it, just what changes we can do to get there. And then the report that is going to be due in 2025, the ACARD analysis, is really where we're going to find out what new technologies we're going to have to bring in capital investment wise in order to really make the future standard.
Do we hear, you know, industry reports, folks that are make the gear and all? I gotta believe this is a huge business opportunity for them to be spinning up whatever technologies they can invest in to sell to every membrane plant on the planet to be able to meet these new. We see that. There's stuff coming.
Yeah, there is.
There's a lot of side stream treatment options out there, nutrient recovery type things.
I was just thinking, you know, a couple pucks you throw in the well and everything's good or something. All right, great.
So we closed out 2022 with 125.8 connection fees collected and 230 permits issued. Starting off 2023, no connection fees collected so far, but 2 permits issued. We submitted permit apps for both the lift station 6C and 4C upgrade with the city. And those projects are currently going through the SEPA comment period, but should be ready to bid probably, if not next month, it'll probably be in March. Still working through the 90% plans for the 2C upgrade, and waiting for city comments for the lift station 2C forest main and the gravity sewer replacement around Main Street and 18th over to 125th and back up to 20. So, and currently we had to re-advertise the lift station 7 generator swap. Again, we talked about that advertisement time. The original advertisement was pretty condensed. We only had it added for 2 weeks. So we extended the bid opening date, and today we've got a contractor, a potential bidder going out to the site to take a look at it. So we also received word from Cummins that our generator for 2C is going to be delivered well ahead of schedule, probably in June, where we were worried that we'd have a year or longer lead time on that. So that's good news. We may be holding it somewhere for a little while, but it's better than not having it for a long time.
because there's a fish window in that area too to work at 2C, right?
There, I don't think so. We talked to Fish and Wildlife about needing an HPA permit, and Fish and Wildlife said that we don't need one. So we won't be digging in the creek. Our current proposal is staying the force main at the top of the culvert. So we shouldn't be interfering at all with the stream itself.
Awesome.
It's just that stream tends to expand and contract depending on the weather.
Yeah.
And it expands into our area versus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you.
City report. Mr. City Administrator, I see you up there. You want to take?
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Business as usual, just getting opened up for the year. Council went through their roles and responsibilities of who's going to sit on what committee, and so Angie Jorstadt is the new council president this year. So excited to have her on board. Other than that, again, business as usual.
Fantastic. I will say that I drove through Main Street several times this holiday season, and I've never seen it look better. It was absolutely beautiful. So well done to the city staff there. I thought it was fantastic. Really enjoyed that. So
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
that gets us to our commissioner reports. Shall we start with commissioner number 1? I think that's you.
Is it? I thought it was 2, but okay. Hey, you know, you get numbers. No, Happy New Year, everybody. And we made it. It was great. Going to be a busy year. Sorry I wasn't able to attend WASWA, the section meeting the other night. I know as a board member, at the end of this month, we're going to have a board for the e-board for WASWA. There'll be a lot of things coming up, so you're going to be seeing it as the legislative session just started here this last Monday. And so they'll get inundated probably with a lot of projects that WASWA's got near and dear to them. Mainly funding, but obviously you're going to probably see things come through in regards to like the discharge and all the things like that, because every year something gets added from a legislator standpoint, thinking it'll be a simple fix, but obviously the professionals in the industry will start looking at like, oh my gosh, it's going to cost us. So it'll be our responsibility to try to, and of course we've got great representation in this area at the state level, so we'll be able to. It's kind of nice to have somebody local once again, because when the 44 left, when we were 44th, we had Senator Hobbs, and Lovick was always available to us, but now we're in a different. Now we have Representative Lowe, who will be right here to help us, and I know that it's changed for us, so it'll be something for us all to have. But I just want to say thank you, everybody. Look forward to another great year.
Yeah,
we'll be busy as ever.
Made it around the horn again.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you.
For me, let's see, we attended the WASWA meeting on Thursday, and I thought, not Thursday, Tuesday. I thought it was interesting, we discussed, right, like power outages, all the craziness that businesses and utility companies have to deal with now. And Mariah was impressed, the district seems very on top of it and forward thinking as far as the reserves that we have and security, and right, they pass around like state-of-the-art locks, and you already have your it on order. And so I feel confident, that we're representing the community well for that. And then I'm attending the commissioner training. I think it's in 2 weeks. And then one thing if we want to consider doing a first quarter newsletter just on the website, I think that's so excellent, to maybe mention the effectiveness of the membranes of the plant, and, 82% the limit for inorganic nitrogen is, those are such good things to be proud of, especially for those who care about the cleanliness of the community. And, that's part of our mission, is taking care of the environment. So I think that would be a great thing to, have it somewhere so that as people go to our website, they can see, that we're being environmentally responsible.
The only thing I had was I want to talk about some questions. The annexation, we still have 900 people that pay into the district that don't get to vote. Am I got that?
Yeah.
Right, and we've been working on that. And we've done dozens of at least a dozen of past annexations. So the path is known. We've done it bunches of times, but somehow we're running into a problem. Okay. So Gene, I'm confused on this one. And so if you could, I don't see, we don't have any council members here, but I find that not having 900 people in our community who pay their sewer bill, not being able to vote because we have some administrative challenge that is somehow different than it was the last dozen times we've done it. This should be a real easy one to fix. It should be easier than, us stopping the transfer of the old treatment plant and making sure it went to the city, or great work on a decant facility, or all those things are so much more difficult than this, but it affects 900 folks in our community. So I would respectfully ask, and I'm happy to talk to whoever I need to, but let's get this done. And if we don't have a path forward, if this isn't on a council agenda or whatever the next step is that we need to get before our next utility meeting, I would say I would be a proponent of postponing the utility committee until we can collectively get our stuff together. So if you could take that back, I'd appreciate it. But this one we've talked and talked and talked, and it's just not that hard. So we got to get this one done. So that would be my offer this morning. I appreciate the team's work, the report out of the plant and the fields, just excellent, and look forward to another great year. That's all I got. I think we're going to be going into, let me see, make sure I'm not missing anything. Yes, we do have an executive session. We always cut them short and then extend, so let's go right to 10, unless you think we need more time than that. 10:15? 10:30? 10:15 is the and Jordan, if you could do the preamble, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Will do. The Lake Stevens Sewer District Commission will now move into executive session pursuant to RCW 4230-110, subsection 1, subsection I, to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency matters relating to pending litigation to which the agency is a party. The executive session will start at 9:36 and will conclude at 10:15. At the conclusion of the executive session, the commission will return to the regular meeting and adjourn with no action expected.
Cool. All right.
This
Friday
conference
meeting.
will now be recorded.
Hi, we're back in regular session, and as promised, no decisions, and I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.